afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give initially a quick introduction about Etisalat Group, and then what we're doing in M2M, and then the main purpose of the presentation is how we view standardization and how it can affect the growth of M2M. Etisalat Group is Middle East-based, Emirates-based operating group. We operate in 15 countries in Africa and Middle East and Asia. We have 139 mobile subscribers, and our revenue in 2012 was around $8.9 billion. We're basically a mobile-based operating group, so our focus is on mobility. In 2010, we started thinking of playing a bigger role in the M2M ecosystem. We previously was providing SIM cards, unmanaged SIM cards for M2M activity, but then we thought to start playing a bigger role. We built a strategy that basically to focus more on providing management into our M2M SIMs, and then gradually offer end-to-end solution to our customers. In 2011, we signed with Jasper Wireless to build a control center that is dedicated to Etisalat Group in the UAE. And in February 2013, we joined the M2M World Alliance of 8 operators in order to unify the offering globally for M2M SIM cards. We're planning to enhance our offering by subscription management platforms and application platforms, and also actively looking for partners to be able to offer end-to-end products to the market. Our first end-to-end product was launched in the UAE. It's called the Emirates Energy Star. It's basically an energy management product for buildings, high-rise buildings, whereby we try to help the customer reduce their spend on energy. Also, there is an advantage of the program is to reduce the carbon emission of buildings. It's a small attempt, but it will help. Emirates is known to be one of the highest carbon emission per capita countries in the world. The program, basically what happens is that we assess the building, and using sensors, we sense occupation and then control the chilling and the lighting of the building. And we've seen that something from 10% to 30% saving of energy can be achieved using such a product. The product was launched in 2012. It's offered by our sales team, so we offer end-to-end the product via our partner Pacific Control. As of March 2013, the product has saved 10,246 tons of CO2, which is equivalent to planting 2,200 trees. The saving was 6.8 million dirhams, and average saving for all the customers were around 18% on the energy bill. The initial phase is rolled for business customers, and then we're planning to do also for consumer buildings, which are managed by one single business. M2M has been there for a long time, lots of inhibitors, but also recently lots of enablers. The inhibitors was mainly for us as a mobile operator is that the lack of scale, too many solutions, too many different customer requirements, customization is heavy, but also the ARPU was low, so for us it was very hard to jump in. Also, the standards that we're using in the last 10 years has changed enormously. So GPRS, Edge, UTS, 3G, HSDPA, these changes are not so suitable for end-to-end deployments, which look for standard implementation for, let's say, 10 or 15 years. But recently, the standards have sort of like slowed down a little bit, so we are like moving a little bit slower when it comes to changing the network standards. The enablers, of course, the cost of the GSM modems and GPRS modems is getting lower, and this is, of course, piggybacking on the huge growth in smartphone and consumption of data in general. There's a lot of regulatory mandates also, not, I would say, in our footprint, but we are benefiting from that, especially in Europe and in the US and Russia, where there are solutions that are mandated that push and drive the implementation of services. The volumes are starting to get bigger, so it's a driver for us to come in. The famous hockey stick curve that everybody wishes that it happens, it's happening. Large growth rate of M2M deployments. Unfortunately, in our footprint, we face maybe a challenge that is new in that area, whereas we have to educate governments into the importance of M2M deployments. And that's why probably in our area, or our operating areas, the deployment is always seen less versus the European markets and the North American markets. But we see it happening. We see governments start to understand the importance of M2M and how it can help reduce costs in different industries and activities. Being a mobile operator, we follow standards. It's very important for us. We believe that standardization helps reduce the complexity of the solutions that are offered to end-to-end customers, and hence it's very important for us to see standards happening. Is the current level of standardization and the pace of standardization enough and able to push the potential and drive the potential of M2M? I personally leave the question to you, but M2M is a quite, it's everything. It's machines, it's all the industries. We're talking about everything. And I quote a piece of information from the collaboration machine-to-machine task force is that they said it's at 143 regulatory body that is interested in to see what is happening in M2M and affect the standardization. This is good, sometimes bad, because when you have so many people interested, standards take forever to complete. The way we see the ecosystem as a mobile player is that we have around 6 components. To the left-hand side, we have the sensors, of course, and the gateways that have the SIM card inside. We have the SIMs, the embedded SIMs. We have the subscription management platforms. Of course, the connectivity that we offer, and the customer care, and so on. And we have the managed connectivity for M2M. We have the application platforms, and we have the verticals. We've seen, we follow mainly as a GSM operator 3 main players when it comes to specifications. The ETSI, where they started with the equal and the European mandates to put standards for the M2M platforms. Also, the GSMA is doing a lot of effort in the embedded SIM concept and the proof of concepts with the M-Automotive initiative. One M2M is a recently launched standardization body, actually just July last year, and it aims to bring on board standardization bodies from North America and the Asia Pac and to try to harmonize the specs that are coming out to be a global spec rather than Etsy driven, which is a European standardization body. Etsy is focusing mainly on the two edges of the ecosystem that we've seen. They're focusing on the sensors and the gateways, and on the other side, the application platform. The aim is mainly to try to unify the platform that the vertical or the M2M customer who's writing applications sees. So, currently now every vertical or every implementation or every solution is a vertical by itself, which is expensive and does not help grow and shorten the time to market. Well, for those who like technology and so on the left side, the M2M device and gateway domain. These are the two domains that Etsy focuses on. The left side is the M2M device and gateway domain, as they call it, which has the sensors and the gateway. The gateway is the one that has a SIM card. So they try to standardize how the sensors are onboarded on the network, and how the gateways are onboarded on the network, and how the customer on the right-hand side can access all these securely and in an efficient way, in a way also that they see always one single layer to develop. So at the end, we could imagine that all verticals are written on the same platform. In the Etsy model, they left the transport part to the standardization bodies that look after the transport part, like 3GPP. In the Etsy model as well, there's of course lots of layers when it comes to the sensor and gateway communication. The sensors are normally very small. They don't have a SIM card in them, so there must be something that connects these sensors, fire alarm sensors and so on, whatever, to the gateway, and the gateway will be communicating using the mobile network to the application layer. On the application side, lots of standardization body also wants to put their input into how the service layer is being built. So continua for the health, home gateway. So lots of standard bodies also, they want to affect that service layer and how it's being implemented. That's another look of the structure of Etsy specs. And these are the specs that has been released in the last year and a half, I would say. The GSMA, and this is also another very important player in how specs are being developed. In November 2010, there was a task force created for the embedded SIM concept. The embedded SIM is mainly the chip. The SIM in a chip, so it's not the plastic usual form factor that we see. No, it's an integrated circuit that gets soldered into the M2M device or box as it is manufactured. The drivers is basically smaller size, so that you can reduce the size of the equipment. And here the GSMA decided to fast track the specification development because it was seen very important. This is how the structure looks like for the platform that manages the embedded SIM. The embedded SIM is carrying the profile of the mobile operator, so it's a very secure environment. And in order to be able to offer embedded SIMs, you have to manage the subscription that is there, because normally GSM has to allow changing the subscription profile of the customer on the SIM card. So there is effort that is done to standardize this area, and we have the subscription management platform, which enables the management of the profile on the SIM. This helps the M2M manufacturer or the M2M owner or the solution owner, that when he's producing the devices, he can produce it with the SIM in it, and the profile that can be used could be from any operator. So for instance, it's a car, or it's a consumer electronic device, a camera or a tablet, the production can have the SIM card inside. Once the devices land into the destination territory, and to avoid roaming charges, the profile is changed from the original profile that was put on when the device was tested and manufactured, to the local profile in the home country. This is important because M2M is starting a low amount of data, but gradually, as more demand is there, the roaming concept will not be economically feasible. GSMA aim is to have the specs. It's not a spec actually, it's a description, it's a framework of how the platform looks like, but then it will be transferred to Etsy and eventually 3GPP, and maybe to have a detailed specification for the platform. GSMA is also doing a lot of effort in the area of the connected cars, and a lot of effort is done in this area to promote the concept of the embedded SIM. So work is done with automotive companies to get them aware of the concept and understand more what is the requirements, and in order to be able to release a better concept and standard. M2M is the recently formed standardization body. This is actually growing the footprint of the specifications that is being built by adding standardization bodies from other areas in China, Korea, Japan, and the US, which will also focus on the concept of having one service layer or common service layer for the application, so that when writing different M2M applications, we don't have to build the whole vertical from scratch. This is the timelines that are there by the one M2M. Again, going back to the same ecosystem, so for us as a mobile operator and for the mobile operation in the GSM industry in general, we understand that specification is very critical. So the more we standardize and have common when we offer when we have the offering, the more we believe that the industry will be going faster, because then the reduced amount of fragmented kind of implementation help increase the scale. So going from a vertical concept where every time a solution, be it a smart grid solution, be it a health solution, be it an automotive solution, and all these verticals that are there, if everyone has to build the whole solution end to end as a vertical, it becomes very complex. So the operating environment believes that if we standardize as much as possible, of course, of the specs, then it will be able to go from a vertical concept to a horizontal concept, to reduce the cost and time that is there for the vertical owners when building their solutions. One research company, when I was doing this presentation, they were saying, standards, who cares? Nobody cares about standards, and we'll do the solutions because the market can't wait. In a way, they're right, but standards are important. Standards, they shape even if they are not ready, even if they are not fully detailed, even if they are not very cumbersome in describing each and every bit of a solution, but they form the way, the shape, or they help us all move into a certain direction. Of course, if the standards are lighter, probably, and they complete quickly and they are available quickly, then the industry will be able to catch on these standards quicker. Standards, some of them, I mean, I've been in this industry for 17 years, the mobile industry. I've seen standards which were completely a failure. But this is for different reasons. It could be the standard itself, it could be that the standard was written with a very ambitious kind of approach that everything can be standardized, every bit can be standardized, and take ages, and it never happens. Or it's a standard that is not very suitable to a business case that is there. But I think there are very successful standards, and GSM itself is a very successful standard. However, I think with the way internet is changing things, the concept that was there when building GSM and Edge and GPRS and UMTS was about every bit has to be standardized, but internet is not built the same way. The Internet of Things, the way the concept is a bit different. So this mix, or this understanding that the GSM standardization has to understand is that you need to leave some room for flexibility, for innovation, and not to try to standardize each and every bit like we're doing for GSM and UMTS, because here we're touching on the internet layer, and the internet layer is about innovation and flexibility. That comes to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.